Oh, there's a creeper next to my present. Of course there is. Don't you dare blow up my panda. I'm gonna take you out before you take out my panda. Yes, my panda is still trapped inside the present, but we'll deal with that later. There we go. And I saw something else over here as well. What is this? What are you? Is someone trolling me? Hello? Hello? No, because they're super tiny. There's two of them? What are they? Ow! Ow, they hurt! What the hell? Is it a spider? Invisible spiders in Minecraft. I did not know that they existed. And two of them spawned here? That's insane. What the hell did I just witness? You learn something new every day in Minecraft, I suppose. Okay, back to terraforming. Hello everybody and welcome on into another episode of Autocraft. You may be wondering, Belle, where the hell are you? I've never seen this background before. Well, I may have got a little bit carried away doing some building off recording. But don't worry guys, I'm going to show you around. So what I actually did was I finally did the interior of my tree stump. Now this wasn't the plan when I was... This wasn't the plan when I was building off of recording, but I just got carried away as I said before. So this is just a very simple interior that I have done. I've got my little bed section over here, all my beautiful heads proudly displayed on the wall. Hopefully I will get more. And one thing that I actually really liked that I did is I put trapdoors behind in front of my crafting table and my stone cutter, and that just makes it feel like when I'm crafting that I'm just pulling something out of the drawers and that I close the drawers again. So that I really liked. I hope you guys like how it turned out as well. I even have doors now to save me from the outside mobs. The whole reason why I was recording off camera was because I needed to do the terraforming. So I'll show you a little before and after of what I did with that. And there is a reason why I had to do this terraforming. Oh my god, look at this terraforming beforehand. It's so ugly. Yuck. It makes me want to vomit. Oh, look at that. Bleh. There's only part of a cliff there. It's so terrible. What is she gonna do? And here it is after. Oh my god, wow. Isn't it beautiful? It's so amazing. It goes all the way around and everything. Wow, she even added a little stairway up from the water. Who'd have thought? Isn't that great? Look at her go. Such beauty, such grace, and such green lands. Yay! So the reason why I finished off the terraforming all the way around my area is because... Ow. That went well. And the whole reason why I did all of this terraforming around the edge of my base is because the whole idea for my area was for it to be a forest. You can't really have a forest without having trees, so that's what we're going to be doing in today's episode. I'm going to be building the trees to start off my magical forest. But first, we need to head over to... my creative world. Welcome on in to my creative world. I've got a lot of things going on in the background. As you can see, my tree is over there. And I don't want to spoil too much, but this was the original tree. And sadly, with World Edit, the bottom half of it disappeared. But that's okay. I don't mind. Now, as a Minecrafter in Creative World, I don't really know how to do a lot of things, so I tend to only use a very tiny bit of World Edit, mainly for replacing blocks like these red walls. And apart from that, I don't use Axiom, I don't use Easy Place, I don't use anything like that. So what we're going to be doing today, as you can see, there are some beautiful block palettes here behind me. We're going to be making our third and final tree that's going to go in our forest. So I actually have already built two other trees, which I'm not going to show you yet. You guys can see those later on in the video, but I have made a blue tree and a pink tree. And I wanted to do these trees a little bit different because it's going to be a magical forest. And I wanted to change it slightly from the main tree in the area. So I've made a block palette that's slightly different for a green tree. And you may be like, why have you got glazed terracotta? Whoops, that's disappeared now. Why have you got a green banner? What are end rods for? Why all these crazy blocks? Well, you'll see once I start building the tree. But the way I usually start with a build is by using red wool to get the shape. So let's start with that. So how I usually start by building organics in my creative world is by getting a reference picture. So I'll pop the reference picture on screen here, and this is the tree that we're going to be basing this build off of. So now I'm just going to start building the trunk of the tree using this red wool, and I'm just going to do it in this area over here. So let's get to placing. So here we're just starting out with a basic shape, and I'm just going to build off of this. So the way I build organics is I kind of do it at a more random way than building a straight circle for the base of my tree, and these little bits coming off the edge are basically just the roots of the tree. And a way to make things look slightly more circular is to remove the corner pieces. So you can see where it kind of connects, and then later I will add stairs and slabs to make this more rounded. But I think this is good so far, so now we're just going to start stacking this up. And also I like to curve my trees a little bit as well as we go, because in nature, trees aren't just straight up and down. So let's add a bit of definition into this tree. So as you can see here, I've gone in one block, and I might do the same on this side as well. And to bring the tree out to make it wind slightly more, what I usually do is just adding extra pieces on like this, and then removing some of the wool so that it comes out on this side, and so that it goes in on this side. And there we have it. The tree is starting to tilt to one side. And you just got to play around with the shape a little bit, add blocks, remove blocks, and just test out how it goes with building the tree. And once you've got it all sorted, we'll move on to the next step. So now I feel like the trunk of the tree looks pretty good from all sides. So now I'm going to start shaping out where the branches will go. And usually with trees, you have one main branch, or maybe 2 or 3 main branches. And from those branches, you have smaller branches coming off. So I'm just going to add basically some tendrils to the top of this thing, and we'll see how it turns out. So this is the start of the first tendril, and I feel like I want it to go more out this way before it goes up. And as you can see, I've also removed the corner blocks here, as we will add stairs and slabs later to make it more smooth with the transition. So let's just bring it out a little bit more, and then bring it up, maybe out again, and up again. And let's just remove some of the corners. And I feel like that's a bit of a better shape. And for the main branches of the trees, I just want to make them slightly thicker. So let's thicken this branch up a little bit. So I'm just going to add some extra wool on this side. Like so. Remove some corners maybe. Like this. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. And there you go. It looks like a much thicker branch than what we originally started with. And if you want to add more definition, you can also do some extra blocks on the top as well. Like so. And now it looks like a more rounded out shape. I'm going to branch out. Ha, get it? And I'm going to add some more branches coming out of this specific branch. And if you think about a tree as well, the leaves are going to be here. Maybe I want some more leaves at the front slightly lower down as well. So I think I'm going to branch out from about here and bring it out this way a little bit. So as you can see, now the leaves will be more spread out amongst the tree. And I think I'm actually going to connect this branch more over here. Like so. So it looks a bit more natural. And there we have it. Another branch is added to the tree. Now I'm just going to add a few more branches, and I'll come back to you once that is done. So as you can see, I've made sure that all the tiny branches come out at different heights to the main branches, just to make sure that the leaves are evenly spread, and we're going to have one big leaf mass up top here. And now that the base is actually complete, I am happy with it. I think it looks great. We're going to do a little bit of world edit to replace this wool with... maybe I'll replace it with jungle wood. And we're going to replace it with jungle wood instead of jungle logs, because otherwise I'm going to have to replace all of these logs for these anyway. It is going to make it harder to build when it's not in creative, because most of it is going to be made out of the wood instead of out of the logs, but I'm okay with that. But I think I'll start with jungle wood and work from there. We need to get I don't need this anymore. I need to grab a stick. And I need to figure out the bottom right or left-handed corner is fine, where all of the blocks will be in. And I think this is a good spot. So we'll do the first one from here. So if I left-click with my stick on this block, that's one of the coordinates set. And now I need to find the most highest corner on the opposite end. And now if we go to our stick and we use the right mouse click with this one, then our tree should be encapsulated. And it looks like all of the red wool blocks are inside of this box. So now we can do the world edit command. Okay, so I've written down the coordinates. Oops. Now we do /fill. Then the first coordinates, which was 697, 71, 136, to the second coordinate, and then we pick the block that we want to turn it into. So I'm going to choose jungle, wood, and then I'm going to replace the red wool with the jungle wood. So this should turn all of the blocks into the jungle wood. And now we have a base to start off with the trunk. We can start texturing it with the block palette that we chose down here. So usually I start with the darker areas, which will be the areas as such. Oh, I don't have the logs for this. There we go. And I'll try and change out these ones for the logs, so I use less wood when I build it in creative, and anything like this one here, I will change out for the wood. And now I'm just going to work in the little crevices and just get the darker colors in there first. And then I will transition to my mangrove, then to the jungle, which can stay put, then to the stripped spruce, and potentially I'll use the stripped jungle wood for the lighter areas, but we'll see how that transitions. Just a little disclaimer here, I did forget to add the stairs, the slabs, and the fences, but if you are going to, do remember to add those here. And there we have it. We're now finished with the trunk of the tree. I think it turned out really great. I might add some more details like some glow lichen and maybe some vines later, but for now it's time to work on the leaves. And this was the color palette that I had for the leaves, going from kind of a dark green into an orangey shroom light. But I don't know whether to use the lime glazed terracotta or the green glazed terracotta. I like how this one has the yellow in, which will tie into the shroom light. But I guess I'll test out both and see which I like more. But first, we're just going to do the base with the moss blocks. So I'm just going to pick a branch, and I'm just going to start from a part of the branch like this and just make a quick circular shape around the area like so, and then I'm going to join it from the top here to get that kind of circular shape going up to a point. And I'll do this on the top and underneath, and then we'll start filling in the gaps. And the way I do it, because these aren't normal leaves, they're more just blocks, is I go around and I fill it in as such like this. I'll just show you with this portion of the tree here. So I'll just fill it in like this, just at random, and then I'll just start taking some areas out and adding some in to leave these kind of air gaps, like here. And maybe I'll do one, oops, here as well. And I just keep going round and adding in pieces like this just to make it slightly more unique. And that's how I get the base shape for each section of the leaves. And I'll have to do it on the end of each one of these branches. So I'll just fill in this one and I'll get back to you once it's done and you can see what it looks like. And now we have the basic shape of the tree. Basically what I'm going to be doing is placing the lighter parts on the top and maybe some darker glass underneath. So I'm going to switch out the lime glass, the green stained glass. So I'm going to put the green stained glass underneath and then I'll try the lime terracotta on top with the leaves on top of that and we'll see what it looks like. And I think that's pretty good for the glass. I like some pieces to be hanging down like this because it looks like kind of like a weeping willow where the leaves hang down. So now let's try out the lime glazed terracotta and we'll see what it turns out like. I might try a mixture of both. So now we've added a bit more detail with the glazed terracotta. I'm just going to add leaves on the top and a few on the bottom as well. And these are just your regular old oak leaves. Something that I also want to do while I'm placing the leaves is just to place in some of the shroom lights in like so. And then we can just cover it in leaves. So you can just see it peeking through. But basically what that does is it makes the top of the leaves glow as well as the bottom. I feel like this looks amazing. I really like the idea of having both of the glazed terracottas, so I'm going to stick with that. Now, another tip that I've picked up is using banners. Now, these don't render from quite a far away distance, but I feel like as you're walking through the forest, it will give more of an atmosphere. And I'm basically just going to place these on the ends of some of the leaves. And I'll just do it on the front here so you can see what it looks like. So we just want it at kind of like different levels, different heights, and different gradients. All of the banners are in. And now it's time for the final two steps. And the final two steps are to add our end rods and our glowberries to underneath the leaves here. So I'm just going to, again, do them at different heights. So sometimes I'll do 2, sometimes I'll do 1, and also in different levels as well. And there we have the final look of the leaves. Now I just need to finish this off on all of the other branches. And you can actually see what it looks like a little bit at night now as well. So now I'm just going to work on doing all of the other branches. Alrighty guys, the tree is now complete. I'm just going to add a bit of glow lichen onto the trunk, but I finished all of the leaves and it's pretty much ready to be placed into the world. I really like how it came out, and I know I used quite a few different blocks, especially like the glazed terracotta and the glass in the leaves, but I think it looks great in the end, and I think it will fit very well into my fantasy forest. So now what we need to do is save this schematic into Lightmatica along with my pink magical tree and my blue magical tree. And we're probably going to need a lot of resources for these 3 trees here. So we're going to save them in the schematics, check what resources we need, and then it's time to gather some materials. And here are my schematics. So if I go into this one and into the material list, here you can see how many resources I'm going to need for this tree. Of course, we can ignore the grass blocks, stone, dirt, because that's just what was on the floor. And I also need to multiply these trees by 2 because I'm going to want 2 blue trees, 2 pink trees, and 4 green trees at least. So that means I need to collect 1 shulker box of warped wart blocks. So this is going to take me quite a while to collect all of these resources, so I think I'm going to have to call in the troops. But first, let's see how many shulker boxes Steph has. Ah, okay, I see, in the middle row. So I'll start from here and let's just have a look through them. No. 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 That was the same chest. No. There they are. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 shulker boxes. So let's grab all of these. I'll pop them in my ender chest and we can start collecting the materials we need. Also, bell. There we go. And done. Hart was here, so was Geo, so was Crink, also Bell. Steph! Crink was here, so was Bear. Jushik was here. King of Candles was here. Friendly side? Marsh signed. And fire. I don't know what this means, though. EBGDF. These are the lines of the... Question mark, question mark. We'll never know. We'll never know. Oh, yes, but we were going to head to Bear's shop to see if she sells the warped quartz. Nope. I don't have diamonds. Diamonds would be handy when you're about to buy things. Let's check our diamonds. None. None. Loads! Yay! Alright, we got some diamonds to do some shopping. Lovely jubbly. To the nether! I got 2 stacks of diamonds. That should be enough, right? Right? I really hope so. I don't think it will be, though. Warped stem! That's what I need! 1 diamond for 32. Epic. Yay, I got 32. Do I need to put the diamond in here? Maybe I'll put the diamond in here. So that's 1. So I do need another one. I do need another one. Excuse me, sir. I need that button. I was here first. Get in queue. Open! Got it. Ooh, I got a head. Oh, because there's a chicken over here and so I just spawned another one. What are these rates? Oh, this is not where I'm supposed to go. But the chickens are opening the doors. Oh my god. Yeah, you done shopping? And finally, we have all of the materials ready for the tree builds. As you can see behind me, I have my organized shulker monster with all of the materials we will be needing. So these are all the woods I will be using. These are the end rods and the chains and glow lichen. These are all for the green trees. There is a lot of different resources here, as you've seen in my trees in the creative world. They're going to need many different blocks, so this has actually taken me a couple of days to gather with the help of Steph. Thank you very much, Steph, for helping me gather all of these materials. But you know what that means? It's now time to actually build the trees. So I think I'm going to start just filling out this area over here with a few trees, because this is going to be the easiest start. And then I'll start along the water edge here. I don't know if this is going to be enough to fill this whole area with trees, but we'll see how far we get. So here is our first tree. I don't even know if it's going to fit in this spot, but we shall see. So for now, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, we are on area selection. So if I hit Control and scroll to number 2 out of 9, we get to schematic placement. Now if I hold Alt on my keyboard and use my mouse scroll wheel, I can scroll it into the position that I want. So I just have to kind of check if it's sitting in the area I need it to. So I think it needs to go slightly more this way. So it seems like the tree just about doesn't fit, as you can see on the corner here. And if I head this way, on the corner here. But what we can do is bring these roots down and curve them around the edges. Of course, the short grass and the grass blocks won't be built when we have completed it, but I still think there's enough room just to get on the bridge. And I think this works perfectly. So I think we're going to build our first tree. So now that we have this sorted, it's time to get building. So, just to warn you guys, I did an accidental oopsie, and I may have paused the flashback partway through, so you can't see some of the build of the first tree. But do not worry, you will see it all in the second and the third tree. But anyway, let's get to it. And here we are, guys. The first tree is now complete. I hope you guys like how it looks in the world. But now it's time to do the next one. And now, tree 2 out of 3 is complete. On to the next one. The 3 trees are complete. The blue one is finally finished. And here is what they are looking like. I love how they turned out. And of course, I'm definitely going to be adding more around this area. But for now, I'm just going to have these 3. And maybe in the next episode, we'll have some more there. And in the next one, we can also start then decorating the floor around these areas, but it feels a lot more like a forest now. Let's have a little fly around. So this is what it's looking like so far. And of course, we have many more trees to place in this area. And that is going to be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this tree building adventure. It's been a magical one. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed this episode and want to see more builds like this. And then you can check how the finished forest will look in the next episode, because I'm definitely going to be adding some more trees off screen. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!